Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, August 14th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing, Adeoye Jr. Joining me is the master of hype, Snowbike Mike.
Blessing, my dude. Good morning. Thanks for having me on today. Great to see you. Let's rock.
Let's rock. Of course, we're in the lab. We still got tech stuff that we're working through. But when it's all said and done,
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, my Bear doesn't want to talk about it.
When things get back, we'll be back.
We'll be back. When we're back, we'll be back and better.
We'll be back, baby.
We'll be back, baby. Of course, we're back with more video game news for you, including our first look at the poster for Fallout Season 2. Metal Gear Solid Delta is missing crossplay, and Capcom is doing their next showcase as a panel, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. I don't know why I did that like I was about to beat up somebody.
But it was good, though.
It was good, though.
It was good?
It was
All
a good
right.
sound. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free. Watch us record them live and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, some of your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. Monday, Kinda Funny goes head-to-head with Giant Bomb in a sponsored Pizza Bandit Let's Play, but with a twist. We had a real chef in office helping us make pizzas. Bless you, Nick. Helping us make pizzas as we played the game. It's absolute chaos, and you need to tune in just to see Tim and Dan Reichert attempt to make pizzas for the very first time. Spoilers, it's embarrassing. Tune in on Monday on YouTube before KFGD to watch. Also, we want to hear your video game hot takes. For a chance to be part of an upcoming Gamescast, send over a voicemail over at kindafunny.com/voicemail. We're an 11-person business, all about live talk shows. So today, after KFGD, you're going to get Gamescast, which is a What You Been Playing episode that's now been titled our first 1 out of 10 review. We're not going to spoil what that game is.
What you been playing, you know?
What you been playing. Turns out something not good, according to somebody on the panel.
Not good.
And then after Gamescast is Coach Mike in Madden. Also, in case you missed it, Fantastic Four 2015 in review went up earlier this morning, so go catch that if you missed it. If you're a Kinda Funny member, today's Gregway is coming at you from the one and only Joey Noel. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney the Psalm Twining. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays and Aura Frames, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 7 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
And he brought the energy on that one.
He did. Which we needed from Bear. Bear's been been having a not great morning.
Yeah,
with the
but
tech stuff.
now he's back.
But now he's
turning it
back.
around. I love that.
He's doing what he's gotta. Story number 1. Fallout Season 2 exclusive poster featuring New Vegas has been revealed. This is from Jim at IGN. IGN can exclusively debut the new poster for Fallout Season 2, which is slated to premiere on Prime Video in December. As featured on this new poster, Fallout Season 2 takes place in New Vegas. We see our returning heroes, Lucy McLean, the Ghoul, Maximus, and the Ghoul's dog companion, Dogmeat, on the outskirts of New Vegas. Social media posts from the set suggest fans will see the New Vegas Strip, including iconic locales like the Lucky 38 Resort and Casino, and the Tops, as well as roadside landmark Dinky the T-Rex. Is that really what it's called? You played New Vegas?
Yes. That's the dino.
That's cool. Before and after the nuclear war. New Vegas was teased at the end of Fallout Season 1, where power armor-clad overseer Hank McLean is seen approaching the city limits. Fans should remember that the Fallout show takes place after the events of the games and is considered canon. Co-showrunners Graham Wagner and Geneva Robertson Dworet said in an April 2024 interview that Season 2 is set 15 years after the events depicted in Fallout New Vegas, and that fans shouldn't expect the New Vegas to be exactly as it was in the game. Mike, we're looking at the poster right now on the screen.
Yes.
What are your immediate thoughts?
I hope that this still has the juice, the motion that Season 1 had. Looking at this poster, I feel like they still got it.
I agree. Yeah, I'm looking at this poster. It's giving me all the vibes I need. I think the biggest thing is how much they're embracing New Vegas as the theme. We knew toward the end, I guess light spoilers for Season 1. But I think at this point,
I mean, it's time to talk about it.
The conversation's open,
If you've missed it, yeah, it's time to talk about it.
Yeah. But yeah, Season 1 ends on this note of, oh, New Vegas is next. And I think for a tease that is as important to fans as that, you have to deliver all the way. It can't just be, okay, we're going for the first episode and then we bounce out, right? Or like, oh, we're going to get hints of New Vegas, but we're not really going to directly reference it because, that's the Obsidian game. We don't want to focus on the Todd Howard Bethesda side of things. It's like, no, if you're doing New Vegas, that's a game that is special for so many people. That is so many people's favorite Fallout game. So you got to do it justice, and you got to lean all the way into it.
And you're getting that, right? You're going to have the T-Rex out on the roadside. You're getting the Lucky 38 casino resorts. You're getting those touchstones that you love. But also what I'm excited for is, like, this is after New Vegas, right? So that means we got a little room to play here, right? You're not going to be just relying on, like, where's Mr. House, right? Like, you're going to be asking these questions, but they don't have to be perfect one-to-one with that, which I'm excited for to see what kind of risks they take.
I'm excited to see how vague they go with it, just depending on, New Vegas can end a couple different ways, right? And so I think a lot of people hold very near and dear to their heart on how they chose to end that game. And I think they probably understand that. So I'm interested to see how they play around with not answering what is the quote-unquote canon ending and still, like, showing, like, hey, did something fucked up happen over here? Like, no matter what.
While also making their stuff canon.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Which is pretty wild as well. They got to play with your different endings while also now making kind of the definitive, hey, this is what the future looks like here.
The question for you and question for chat, if you want to chat or super chat in, right? What is the best way that a video game has handled making a sequel of a game that had multiple endings? Because I feel like this is the big sort of fiasco, or not fiasco is the wrong word, but it's the big question, right? Of like, you always get these sequels, you get these follow-ups to games that let you choose how you want it to end it. And now it's the thing of either you commit to a specific ending, which is gonna cancel out like a certain percentage of players, like what they consider their true experience with the game. Either you commit to an ending, or you go vague and try to commit to all endings at the same time. Is there a game that is like, oh, this one nailed it?
It's a great question there, Bless. Let's see if the audience has some answers for you, because I can't come up with one off the top of my head.
I mean, the one that comes to mind, and somebody in chat mentioned it, Javon Johnson in chat mentions Nier Automata. Nier does the thing, right, where there's always a bunch of endings in Nier. Most of them are like joke sort of endings where you go left instead of right, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, this character ran away from the problem, and then we're rolling credits, and that's how it ends. Nier Automata, I don't know the exact details of it because it gets weird, but I believe Nier Automata picked a very specific ending out of the many endings of like the previous Nier game and just went, hey, we're taking this very specific thing, going all the way with it and creating kind of like a brand new story off of just like that very small specific branch of it.
Okay.
Which I think is cool.
Okay.
I'm somebody who's like, yeah, just choose. Deus Ex, I think, did the same thing with Mankind Divided after Human Revolution.
It's going to be exciting. They're going to choose something here, Bless. And it's December, right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
We're eating good with Alien Earth, and we're going to move right from Alien Earth into Fallout New Vegas Season 2, baby. Here we go.
Here we go.
Also, Bless, do you think we see the guy in the duster with that iconic revolver and mask from the cover athlete of Fallout New Vegas? Everybody knows the helmet. You've seen it before. Right here, Bless.
Oh, this guy?
You've seen it. Do you think we see that helmet somewhere in this season?
Yes.
On someone, on a bookshelf somewhere.
Does it appear
It'll be in the desert. It'll be like,
stomp over it or something? Yeah.
Something like that.
I love that cover always.
Does that appear in the game? I've not played all of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, you can wear that.
You can wear that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to see it.
And then there's some other fun ones. Caesar's Legion, the NCR. You'll see the California flag, hopefully. I think we saw it before, maybe. I don't remember.
I think it was referenced.
Because in New Vegas is when you start seeing that flag, right?
Yeah.
Because 3 is out in D.C., so the flag is cool.
Chat points out that a helmet, the NCR helmet, was in Season 1.
There you go.
Cool.
There you go.
Okay.
Where would you want them to go after this season? Let's say every season we're going to a different area.
And the same characters just keep traveling?
Yeah. Same characters, but you're...
Well, I mean, I want them to go to Boston then.
Yeah.
See,
I like Boston.
For me, it's the Capital Wasteland. I think Boston, you got to get to Boston because Fallout 4's Boston is so great. And also, I think you want to get to Appalachia too. But
oh, snap.
I think the Capital Wasteland, as important and iconic as New Vegas is, I think so many people came into it with Fallout 3. And so, like, the Capital Wasteland kind of has this thing to it. And then also that allows you to get into, like, the weird, like, political stuff. And you can have a robot president and all this shit.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, you start bringing in, like, the synth stuff as well.
Yeah, the synth
stuff. I think
stuff.
you can do that as well. Like, doing
Although the
both
synth
of
stuff
those.
is more 4. That's more like Fox.
But like kind of maybe tie that into the capital stuff in a cool way. Because I don't feel like 4 really wrapped up anything definitive about like synths that I think you can play around with in fun ways. 15 or how many years? I don't know where the fuck this is in the timeline.
This is what I'll say. Because the first season was like LA. We're going to Vegas. I feel like it's tough to jump from Vegas all the way to the East Coast. So like if you wanted to have sort of a connective tissue before getting there.
Well, Daryl Dixon in The Walking Dead once showed up in Paris.
Okay, but yeah, we all acknowledge how ridiculous that is. What I'll say, because the fans been asking for it out of a video game, New Orleans. Give it to me in a season.
Oh, yeah, that
People
would be
wanted
fun.
New Orleans Fallout game.
Yeah, they did.
And I think you can do some really fun stuff with that.
I will be interested to see how they wrap this one up this season. Maybe this is a season 1.5/2 where we stay in Vegas the next season. Does this get a third season? And yeah, bless, where does it take us? It'll be exciting to see because this show after season 1 showed that they did it right. The fans really loved it. We're excited for season 2. Can you keep that? That's a tough one to do here.
Let's move on to story number 2. Metal Gear Solid Delta's delayed multiplayer won't have crossplay, and it's not going down well with the fans. This is from Tom Phillips at IGN. Not only will Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater be missing its multiplayer Fox Hunt mode at launch, the online offering will also lack crossplay support when it does arrive. Metal Gear Delta developer Konami dropped the bombshell today via its Japanese social media account and stated that players on PC via Steam, PS5, and Xbox would be excluded from playing with one another. The response to the news has not been kind, with fans dubbing the announcement as severely disappointing and a decision that can now impact the overall longevity of the game, should particular platforms start to feel devoid of players. Quote, "Why not? Konami IDs have existed forever. Use them," wrote one fan in response. Quote, "I have friends who play on different platforms," wrote another. "Now I won't be able to play with them. This game mode will be dead on arrival if it doesn't have crossplay." End quote.
It's mainly a single player story game, man. Who cares? It's a fun little side thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about this multiplayer experience that we were going to see. I know Roger was excited for us to stream it and play it as a group. And of course, having no crossplay is a big bummer, with all of us always getting different game codes for different consoles. Now we all got to kind of come together. That sucks big time. But yeah, as Barrett says, I think we're all coming for the single player. But also at the same time, Barrett, like Metal Gear Solid, everyone loves this, right? Spending more time in this is a positive for me. I'd love to spend more time in this world.
I gotta look up the details of Fox Hunt.
It's funny to me of just like people talking about the longevity of this, where it's like, is this not just a fun little side multiplayer thing from the days of, Assassin's Creed multiplayer and stuff like that? It's a fun thing to do, but like, are they really thinking about the longevity and battle passes and seasons and shit like that? Like, in terms of that, just what you read, Blessing, that just like,
in terms of that, I think it's longevity of playing with your friends, right? It's what the fans are getting at. It's like, this sucks because we've all seen everyone is on different consoles nowadays. Everybody is on different platforms and ecosystems, and you're buying where you want to be. And it sucks when your friends are on PlayStation and I'm on Xbox, or you're on PC, and now it's like something you're looking forward to or something that you would enjoy for a weekend or two. Now you can't even play with your friends, which means I'm going to play with randoms, and it's probably going to be one night, and I'm going to play it and not have a good time, and we're never going back to this,
Yeah. I think part of this is Metal Gear Online has had such a cult, passionate audience to it that maybe they're taking some of that nostalgia and some of that appreciation for what it has been and applying it to Fox Hunt and hoping that Fox Hunt can maybe be the next evolution of Metal Gear Online, and hoping that okay, well, if it's going to be that, I want it to last, I want it to have crossplay, I want it to have XYZ thing, when really, I don't think Konami looks at it as that. I think they're just, to Barrett's point, and to your point, Mike, I think they're just looking at it as a small side thing that people might hop into, have a little bit of fun with, and move on. Like I pulled an IGN article here from the earlier in the year. This is from earlier in June, right, where they describe it as camouflage and hide and go seek to the next, taking camouflage and hide and go seek to the next level, which sounds fun.
It sounds fun. It sounds like a prop hunt to me that I like in Call of Duty.
Yes.
I would be all about that. The Assassin's Creed multiplayer, that would be fun.
Yeah. And they go on to say in this article, when we say Metal Gear multiplayer, many fans will probably think of Metal Gear Online, but Fox Hunt will be its new own type of mode. We very much appreciate all longtime fans of MGO who have always wanted to see it make a comeback, but the landscape of multiplayer games has changed a lot since Metal Gear Online. It took a lot of careful consideration to think about what a new online mode should look like. And so they know they don't want to do Metal Gear Online. They're talking about scope there and like the amount of work that would take to do today. Would that be cool to see Metal Gear Online come back in a major way? I would say yes, but also, I mean, when you're talking about the expectations of Battle Pass and post-launch and all these things, right? Like, I've become an advocator in the last month or so of like, put out a one and done thing. Like, I don't need every single multiplayer to be like a live thing. I don't need it to be like this fucking bigger than life thing. If we can find the right scope and the right expectations, I think you can nurture something and then have it be a thing that just exists.
Yeah.
I don't need Metal Gear Online to be something that's like the next 10 years of Konami in the studio, right? I'm also down for a side multiplayer mode that people can have fun with and bounce off of.
But I mean, we're also talking about something smaller than that, Bless, right? You talk about the longevity, battle passes, these live service things. We're talking about crossplay here, right? Like, how difficult is it to implement crossplay? It's 2025. All of these multiplayer shared experiences now have been pushing towards this like shared ecosystem. Why are some of these games missing that? What is the breaking point where it's too much dev time, too much headaches? What is going wrong here that we can't have this? Because there's too many games that come out with this that are at a smaller scope or a smaller level. And then there's games that like Rematch and now this, where you come out and go, well, this is odd for a team of your size that couldn't figure this out or get it done.
I think it's
what is the complication?
We talked about this yesterday. I forget which story it was. Chat, maybe you can remind me. But I feel like it's PlayStation, right?
I mean, I don't think it's PlayStation.
Well, because at least I don't know if this was confirmed, but we talked about this yesterday of like potentially PlayStation kind of being the ones that either charge or charge more for crossplay services to be around. And so like I do wonder if it makes financial sense for them.
I think it's just harder than we're giving it credit for on the dev side. I think we think that it's an easy push a button thing. All of a sudden everybody can play with each other. But I think it's just harder. I think it is the account systems they had to figure out. I don't know, in this article, right, one of these comments mentioned that Konami IDs have existed, but I think it goes beyond just being like, all right, connect the thing to the Konami ID. Now everybody can play together. I think having people play with PlayStation and Xbox and Steam all in these same lobbies and connecting to each other is just an extra step of work where for them, they probably looked at it and went, all right, do we want to have crossplay? Well, if we do crossplay, it's probably more work than it's worth doing because we don't see this multiplayer mode as being that big of a thing. All right, cool, then let's just not have crossplay and do it if we really want to.
Then when you come out with that statement, you got to tell your fans that. Because on the outside, the consumers, the fans are so used to all of this now that we're looking for that to be just in it, that you should take a moment. If you're going to shoot out a video like Barrett brought up or even the tweet, just say, hey, it's too hard, the costs are too much.
But nobody's going to respond well to that. You know how fans are.
The fans would at least take that better than just saying, we don't have crossplay, and then us going, well, you have me making a Konami ID. What are we doing here, you know? Like, you got to start educating the fans a little bit better because the fans think it is just simply flip a switch and we're on.
I think the fans automatically point to any other game and go, well, they're doing it. Why can't Konami with your big bucks do it?
Yeah.
And they go, well, we'll just cancel the multiplayer mode because it's not worth doing it. Like, I think you get into this cyclical argument with the fans where the fans are not going to be satisfied no matter what you say. I think for Konami, it might just be easier to just go, yeah, we just don't have crossplay. Because then the people that are mad will get mad, but then like you're talking about, I think, an internet audience. I think you are talking about a drop in the bucket compared to,
of course,
the amount of people that are buying Metal Gear Delta to play the single player thing. Where it's like, all right, cool. If the people that are listening to KFGD and making story number 2 are mad, then like cool. That's 15,000 people on a good day.
My favorite is the reality of all this. As we talk about this, like here's the reality. Here's the circle of people buying Metal Gear Solid.
Yes.
Here's the people that are going to play that multiplayer. It's
many
like 10%.
Yes.
And then here's the people that actually care about it having crossplay are 2%. So none of it actually matters.
That
here.
2% is so fucking generous, Mike. The amount of people that are going to play the Fox Hunt mode that buy MGS Delta, 2%.
Yeah.
2%, and then the amount of people mad about crossplay, it's going to be like 5,000 people.
That's the fun part. Is like we talk about these stories and we break it down because we are the diehards. But the reality is my friend Steezy Steve, who loves Metal Gear Solid, is going to play this game and never touch Fox Hunt mode, or he'll touch it twice and never think about crossplay.
Yeah.
Like there will never be a moment that crosses his mind of like, oh shit, I didn't know I was connected with PC players. You know, like it just won't matter.
Yeah. Story number 3, speaking of Metal Gear, David Hayter has done a 180 on Metal Gear Solid 5. This is Land Pits at GameSpot. MGS5 will be turning 10 in September, but it still stirs up conversation, especially about the fallout between Konami, Kojima, and longtime Snake voice actor David Hayter. When Hayter was replaced by actor Kiefer Sutherland for MGS5, fans were stunned, and Hayter himself took it hard. Back in 2015, he said playing the game would feel like 60 hours of humiliation. But it seems that time away from things has changed his mind. Speaking to PC Gamer, ahead of the MGS Delta release, Hayter said he finally gave the game a shot. Quote, I didn't want to play the game because I figured it would hurt my feelings, he said. Then, 10 years went by, and I was like, to hell with my feelings, what do I care? As a veteran screenwriter, he added, quote, I get fired for a living. I'm not a child, end quote. Once he played it, Hayter was surprised by how much he enjoyed it. Quote, I was like, stop being a baby and play the game. So I played it. It's amazing. He admitted, end quote. He admitted it gave him a new perspective on fans who once told him MGS5 was their favorite. Quote, I'd be like, what the hell, dude? Thanks. You want to give me a paper cut as well? Maybe pour some lemon juice on it? And then I played it and I'm like, I think this is my favorite gameplay of the series, end quote. Good for him. Good for the growth.
Yes.
As for Sutherland, Hayter holds no grudge. Quote, I ran into Kiefer Sutherland at a bar in Dallas, and we had a bunch of drinks. He's a great guy, no ill will, end quote. With Konami now welcoming Hayter back as the voice of Snake in upcoming projects like Master Collection Volume 1 and Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, a remake of MGS3, it appears both the franchise and Hayter are looking forward, not back.
Time heals all wounds. Good for him for growing and saying, you know what, I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to play the game. It turns out I enjoyed the game.
You know what else?
That's great.
You know what else heals all wounds? A paycheck.
A lot of money.
They're
lot of money,
can you stop talking shit about this game so we can put you in the new one?
My favorite is like,
it's good for our PR.
The fans walking up to him is like, man, I fucking love Metal Gear Solid 5. And him just having to take that, you know?
I feel for David Hayter, man.
You know what?
Hey, man, time heals wounds.
Yes.
Money heals wounds.
Yeah.
They turned a Hayter into a lover.
He's back, baby. We're back.
They turned David Hayter into a lover.
I appreciated it the first time.
Thank you.
Listen,
I
got it.
I gotta make sure people got
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
We got a lot of listeners. Some of you might have gone over their head.
Yeah.
When I'm spitting bars, you gotta explain it because that makes it better.
That makes it a bar when you explain it.
It makes it a bar when you explain it further.
It's like good jokes.
We're going to switch gears and talk about Capcom, but before we do, I want to talk to you about patreon.com/kindafunny and youtube.com/kindafunnygames, where you can go and get the Kinda Funny membership, which allows you to get shows ad-free. Speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. You know that moment. The one when you realized you left your favorite pair of sunglasses at the beach. We've all been there. I'll never forget leaving my incredibly overpriced sunglasses at a restaurant in Santa Monica. That was 13 years ago, and it still haunts me to this day. But then I found Shady Rays and everything changed. Seriously good looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And here's the wild part. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now you can actually wear your sunglasses without fear. Y'all know I've been outside in the sun a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I'm all out and about. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Check this out. You can head to shadyrays.com, use code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shady Rays, use the code FUNNY. This episode is brought to you by Aura Frames. Aura Frames are the perfect way to relive your favorite memories that you created throughout this beautiful, beautiful summer season. No lie, Aura Frames are undeniably the best gift I have ever given. Family, friends, partners, everyone loves being able to have beautiful frames showing off their loved ones and their favorite memories. Aura Frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, the coolest thing, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app. So it's ready to go right out of the box when you give it to someone. There's unlimited storage, so you can store as many photos and videos as you can find, and it's so simple to set up. Start reliving your favorite memories by visiting auraframes.com. For a limited time, listeners can get $35 off their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's AURA frames.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. auraframes.com, kinda funny.
And we're back. Before we move on, I want to hop into some super chats, but my thing just refreshed, so you're going to have to give me 1 second. Here we go. Aaron Lime writes in and says, it should be noted that Metal Gear Online 3 launched a month after the release of MGS5. Also, based on Rematch and Night Rain, it's likely this is a Sony thing. I think I'm missing the connective tissue of the Sony thing.
Well, Sony was the big hang-up on crossplay
Way back
originally.
Yes.
And if you remember, I remember being at IGN when this happened, where Fortnite went, oh no, oh whoopsies, we accidentally turned on the button. We hit the button that said turn crossplay on, and then they turned it off. And then I think that was the floodgates to kind of force Sony's hand of like, okay, now we have to allow crossplay. I forget where it came up of like there being significant fees for crossplay with PSN. I forget.
See if I can find it.
I feel like that was a story at one point a few years ago. But yeah, Chad, if you're more aware of where that came from specifically, but it's famously in the past been Sony.
Yeah, that's my thing is I remember that, but that was I think for me, I'm like, well, that was 2018,
2017,
2018, and since then it seems like crossplay has gone well overall, right? And it's been the recent cases. And so for me, I'm like, has there been something that's been PlayStation leaning in these recent cases? Because for me, I've always just assumed that it is like, oh, y'all just didn't have the bandwidth or didn't like have the, not even bandwidth, I guess different cases for different things, right? For this Fox Hunt thing, I would assume bandwidth of like, we don't really care about this mode that much to add a crossplay thing for the effort it will take. And then for Night Rain and Rematch, it might be more so of like a, shit, like we're new at, like this is something that's new for us. We've not figured this stuff out.
Yeah, like that's a tough.
Oh shit, this is new to us.
This is new to us, yeah. Like
FromSoft is still trying to figure out multiplayer in general and how that works.
Rather doubling down, it's gonna be a great time on the next one.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch.
But if somebody can find and you're wrong or something that links to like the PlayStation like fees for crossplay, I would love to learn because that to me would be fascinating, and that leads to a deeper conversation that we got.
Do you think why the developers aren't going out on Twitter and saying, "Hey, this is the issue why we can't do crossplay is because it is big bad Sony and they don't want to have any problems"? I mean, like if a Konami came out and was like, "Yo, it's actually Sony telling us like no crossplay."
But I find it tough that if for Konami and for FromSoft, right, if it's a fee thing,
or if it's a fee,
that like. They would
a crossplay revenue share agreement, or some partners had to pay a royalty to Sony to offset the reduction in revenue from enabling crossplay. And apparently, this is an email from Sony to Epic Games in 2018.
In 2018, okay.
Sony's telling people, "Pay me."
Yeah, I just find it tough to think that like Konami or From Software wouldn't just fucking pay it. You know what I mean? Especially for From Software for Night Rain.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense to me. For a Rematch. I mean, they're turning it on at some point soon. When I did the interview with the dude, he was like, yeah, we're going to turn on crossplay soon. So, like, I don't know. For me, it doesn't line up, but I'd be down to learn more. Story number 4. Capcom is having a Capcom Presents panel. This is from Wario64 via Entertainment Weekly. Wario tweeted out, Capcom will host a Capcom Presents 90-minute panel at New York Comic-Con on October 10th at 3:45 p.m. ET, showcasing all of Capcom's recent and upcoming releases. That is happening on the main stage, too.
Are you hosting that?
No.
We got to get you back hosting that.
Capcom, I don't think has me in their decks.
So what do we got? Resident Evil, Pragmata.
Yep.
Onimusha. A fighting game? They got a fighting game or no?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, a Street Fighter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get something Street Fighter related.
Yeah. Okay. I guess if you're talking about live.
you know what I'm talking about. It's like, what are the things we'll see? Street Fighter's 100% getting something here.
Yeah.
90 minutes. Street Fighter swimsuit edition.
Another one? Another one?
Another one?
'Cause
Round
they've
2
been-
swimsuit edition.
They
We're back.
already announced the swimsuit editions, Mike. I mean, I expect this to be mostly. It's a panel, right? They say this is New York. Yeah,
panel,
this
yeah.
is a New York Comic-Con panel, so it's going to be mostly conversations, right?
Probably a little
Yeah,
bit
so it's
more
gonna
in
be
depth
like-
with the devs.
More in depth with the devs.
But yeah,
devs.
are you rotating devs or
Yes.
is it just
Yeah.
4 devs for the 90 minutes?
I think you're rotating devs. I think it is. They said 90 minutes. Goddamn.
Yeah.
I mean, if you focus in on the 3 games, being
Resident Evil,
Pragmata, and Onimusha, 30 minutes for each.
Not bad.
30 minutes, sit down, you reveal a thing. All right, let's call up the Pragmata devs.
Yeah.
30-minute conversation. All right, now let's reveal this new trailer. All right, call up the last lead. I think that's how you divide
like
it.
that.
What's up, Eric?
I mean, are all of those games next year games though? Like, do they have anything coming out this year that would feel a bit more
appropriate.
relevant and appropriate to do stuff that, like, do you think,
I mean,
like,
this is
Monster Hunter
October.
stuff, maybe Monster
Yeah,
Hunter
Monster Hunter
updates?
stuff is right. Because, like, I mean, they're probably talking about next year's stuff. This is October 10th. We only have 2 months left in the year when this is going to go down.
Yeah, and it's New York Comic-Con. I think you have to bring big stuff to New York Comic-Con if you're doing a 90-minute panel, because you really don't have to do a panel. Like, if it's a Monster Hunter and Street Fighter shit, like, I think that stuff could pop up here and there. But you're not doing a 90-minute panel just to talk about updates to your old.
We're here for Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I mean, Pragmata we're kind of here for, but we're here for that. And yeah, we're here for Onimusha.
So,
yeah, those
someone
are the
in
big
chat
3.
says Monster Hunter Stories 3 could also be a big one.
Oh, is that new?
That's another one that's 2026.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if it's those 4 games.
Yeah.
And then however that time divvies up. You don't have to give equal time to everything, even though you kind of want to a little bit. You can't have Monster Hunter Stories feeling lesser than Pragmata, even though we know.
Would you go to this? You're at New York Comic Con, you spending 90 minutes at this panel?
They got to market it better.
Okay.
They got to say, and I think they will by the time we get there. I think once we get closer, they
We'll
will
know
say
what it is.
Yeah, I think they'll say you're gonna hear about Resident Evil and Pragmata. They're gonna say at least 2 of the games. And if they said Resident Evil, I'd go.
Okay.
90 minutes is long though.
That's a long panel.
Usually panels are 60 minutes. 90 minutes sitting down, listening to y'all talk.
Yeah.
I say this as somebody who hosts panels.
But we'll have announcements.
Yeah, that's
They'll
for the
probably
super
have
fans.
trailers.
They probably will.
Super fans.
Well, do we know if they're going to have announcements? What I
Well, I
find
mean,
interesting-
announcements by like Resident Evil stuff, Pragmata stuff, like those kind of announcements. Like
They'll
that.
have trailers.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting, like when you go to the Entertainment Weekly, like all of the different panels have at least a paragraph of things, and the Capcom Presents is literally just the one sentence: a 90-minute panel showcasing all of Capcom's recent and upcoming releases. Very vague.
It said recent.
Yeah.
Recent.
So maybe another Monster Hunter update.
Yeah, Monster Hunter update.
Street Fighter,
Yeah.
Swimsuit 2.
Swimsuit 2. Swimsuit drop.
Swimsuit 2.
But yeah,
Well, they're
upcoming.
making a movie, right?
For a Street Fighter?
Yeah. So we got
They
the
are.
cast.
They are. Fucking Mike
Mikey.
cracked it. Mike
Yeah.
cracked it.
This is your time.
Yeah.
This is what you
Fuck.
wanted, right?
You're absolutely right. That makes so much sense for New York Comic Con.
For cast stuff.
Yeah.
So then we're talking about who's on stage.
I don't know.
Who are you bringing out? Is it Roman
Polka
Reigns?
Dot Man.
Do you bring Roman Reigns on stage? Do you bring Cody Rhodes?
The OTC?
The OTC.
They're both in the movie?
Oh, yeah.
Mike,
Get the fuck out of here.
have you not?
yeah.
No, I'm not keeping up with Street Fighter the movie.
You
sorry.
should. Look up, I need you to Google right now, Street Fighter movie cast.
Okay.
And let's scroll
Damn,
through.
he should have been on that episode.
You totally should have been on that episode. I think he was gone. You were gone.
Yeah, that probably would have helped me because I have not been keeping up with that.
Yeah, now I might be going. Also, hey, Capcom, if you need a host, listen,
Call them up.
You had
Get
me.
in there right now.
You got me at Street Fighter movie if that's going to be there.
So this is
Did
the
they
newest
say
one.
upcoming game releases specifically?
They say recent and upcoming releases.
They didn't specify games.
They didn't. No, exactly.
Now the question is, would it be a Capcom panel that you're doing that at?
There.
See, he lives in New York.
What do you mean 50 Cent?
He's in the movie. Motherfucker, he's playing
I was wondering
Balrog.
why y'all had a thumbnail with 50 Cent on there. Like, man, why getting weird with him, 50 Cent? No shit, Cody Rhodes is that guy?
Yeah, Cody Rhodes is guy.
With the hair?
How did you not see any of this?
That's
this
so lit. What? He's gonna be the Green Man?
Yeah, Jason Momoa is playing Blanca.
They got Jason Momoa.
They got 50 as Balrog.
50?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So if you can pick, and the guy Andrew Schultz is damn.
Okay, well, yeah, that look. Oh shit, but the OTC.
The OTC.
He's this guy with the red hair?
Now, if you're picking one person to show up at a Comic-Con panel.
Oh, it's Cody Rhodes and the OTC and 50 Cent.
I mean, you can't get all. Maybe.
And Jason Momoa.
At New York City Comic-Con.
I would say
We gotta get
New
the
York
girl
City
who's gonna play
Comic-Con,
Chun-Li?
you go 50 Cent.
I'm bringing
I feel
out
like you got to bring 50 Cent to New York City Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I'm bringing out everybody.
But
I'm
that's
bringing out
also a
everybody.
bag. The only reason I don't think that.
What do you mean he's getting a bag to be in this bad movie? He's gonna get a bag.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
Like-
it's probably in his obligations.
This is called an obligation.
You're right. This is probably in his obligations. Listen, Capcom, if you don't have a host, if the plan is
This could be you.
if the
it's right.
plan is to get 50 there, if you need to see my resume, I did the secret level panel at this exact event last year.
Yep.
I did Disney D23 showcase. I did a Skybound.
Cyberpunk.
I did Cyberpunk at PAX.
Yep.
Hit me up. Let me do this.
Call him. Hit him up right now.
Wait, when is this in October? Okay, so here's the other thing.
Is that when the wedding is? No, there's not.
Upcoming event schedule. October 11th is the crown jewel. I don't know who's actually at that in terms of talent, but that's in Perth, Australia.
Crown Jewel. I mean, it's gonna be Cody and Roman. Because Cody's the champion, so he will be at Crown Jewel.
So this guy, Noah Centineo,
Yeah.
has dark hair,
Yeah.
but he's going to play Ken, who has blonde hair.
I mean, he can dye
Here's
it.
the thing,
They gotta give him a
Mike,
wig?
they have the technology.
Yeah, we can figure this out. I don't think that's the biggest deal.
I'm looking at it. I don't know about that one.
That's where you draw the line. Is a man can't dye his hair.
Dark hair, blonde hair. I don't
You
know
seen-
right now, Noah.
Jason Momoa, we can figure out how to make him green. I don't know how to make this Noah.
Jason
kid
Momoa
blonde.
green?
He's playing a green
in.
man. But Noah Centineo can't fucking dye his hair.
I don't like it.
We're moving the fuck on. Let's move on to story number 5. Game prices should have increased with every new generation, former PlayStation US boss says. This is Chris Scullion at Video Games Chronicle. Barrett doesn't like it. Former PlayStation US boss Sean Layden says the price of video games should have been rising every new generation to cover the increase in development costs. Layden, who was chairman of the company's Worldwide Studios group when he left Sony in 2019, shared his thoughts on video game pricing in a new feature by GamesIndustry.biz. On the topic of game prices increasing to $80, Layden noted that the cost of premium games had stayed the same for the past 20 years, despite the combination of increased development costs and inflation. Quote, I think it's because everyone's afraid, he suggested. No one wants to be the first one to raise the price because you're afraid to lose traffic. So what you do is you just end up eating into your operation income, your profit margin, end quote. Layden said that by charging the same price for games while increasing game budgets at the same time, it's inevitable that companies make less net profit as a result. Quote, there are more sports cars in the parking lot in the PS1 era than there were in the PS4 era. Because we're coming back to that. Bear's laughing. We're coming back to that.
I'm going to highlight it.
You, dude.
Highlight that.
Highlight that.
Absolutely fuck off, Sean Layden.
Highlight
That's
it.
an insane thing.
There was a lot of cool cars back then.
Oh my god.
We had so many good cars.
Fuck off.
We're coming
Everybody
back
was driving Maseratis back then.
God.
Because everybody was getting a piece of the pie, baby.
I'm going to read that quote again. Quote, there were more sports cars in the parking lot in the PS1 era than there were in the PS4 era, because if you're selling 20 million units at $60 for something that only costs you $10 million to make, that's different than selling 20 million units at $60 for something that costs $160
You know what?
to make.
That's math.
That is math.
He be mathing.
Here's the
He be
thing.
mathing, Barrett.
We're at the end of this article. I was agreeing with him until that one part.
Okay, well, maybe he overstepped the line saying Maseratis.
Yeah, he was like, we had so many more sports cars. He was like, all right, Sean Layden, you lost me here with the sports cars. According to the article, Layden then said that games should have increased in price with every new generation, but that instead, the industry's mantra has been, quote, as long as we grow, even though we're not making money, somehow we can't die, end quote. Layden said this way of thinking has now reached a crisis point because companies have now reached the stage where they have to sell many millions of copies to make back development costs. He also noted that, quote, they've already been kind of moving the medium price point up anyway, even if the base price hasn't been rising thanks to the use of microtransactions and deluxe editions of games, the latter of which adds extra in-game content that has almost a zero cost to make, which I want to get back to that as well.
I like that. I highlighted that.
We got to get back to that as well.
Yep.
Quote, they said, okay, if we maintain the price, then we nickel and dime you with the DLC, microtransactions, battle pass, season pass, whatever you want to call it, and try to make up the excess there, he explained. A lot to sort of jump into.
Digest and talk about, so let's take it from the top. Let's roll it back here for a second. Sean Layden going on the mic saying, yo, prices should have been increased in every generation.
Yeah.
We're just now getting to that point. Maybe we fucked up.
I mean, fucked up, I don't know about fucked up, but I don't think he's wrong. I think he is factually right that development costs have increased.
Yep.
Generation over generation, because games are getting bigger in scope, games are getting more detailed, games are getting more complex. They are way higher production. Guess what?
Which causes them to have longer development cycles. Which
which means you got to pay people longer to make games over the course of 6 years, as opposed to busting out a fucking like N64 game, right?
So now I need more money.
Yes.
And we've been basing it off of a $60 model.
Yes.
That we were doing back in 2002 to 2010.
Yes.
And now we're here in 2025, and it's like, shit.
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't making me enough money at the end of the day.
Now we have to raise prices to like make up for the development costs. Being one part of it, because the other part of it is
we're just breaking it down. We're breaking it down.
Yeah, that's one part of it. Because the other part is also we got to make up for these race cars that we had, sports cars.
So like in his mind, when he's saying that, I think we all jumped to like, clearly the CEO was taking the big old pot of that right there, right? He's being like, hey, more people were getting a bigger chunk of this, right? There was a larger chunk to take from, and everybody was buying nice cars. Now that chunk is smaller because we're not making as much.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you could have phrased it better.
Oh, you could have phrased it way better. But also, I mean, I think, I don't know, man, this whole thing is a can of worms, right? Because I'm of the mind that it's a multifaceted issue, as many things are in life, right? But like, I think he's right about the development cost. I also think that, hey, guess what? CEOs be taking a lot of money.
A lot of money.
CEOs be taking a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And also shareholders, like, there's been a dip as far as like the amount of money that's coming into the industry. Money's still coming into the industry, just not as much compared to like the 2010s and like the early pandemic, because things have shifted in the market. Shareholders are not as confident investing in video games, at least at the level that they were before, and so you're seeing that tighten up a little bit more. It's a number of factors that's leading into the place we're at now.
Ballooning teams, because everything, like there's this obsession, because it's also a tech industry of like making everything bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, which is also conflating into development time cycles and ballooning that cost as well.
Yeah.
Where, I think in retrospect, with how everything went in terms of that, yeah, sure. But I think also if you're trying to, have that mindset of like keeping things at 60, maybe things shouldn't have ballooned in the way that they did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a very interesting conversation because like you're hearing directly from a guy who was at the tippity top, right? Like this is a person who was there making those calls. And I found something interesting of like that quote of, as long as we grow, even though we're not making the money, somehow we can't die, right? And we've always heard Xbox state that there's like 6 billion players out there and we just got to reach them because over here we've kind of reached them now, but we got to reach even more. And I think we're seeing in 2012, it's like that reach is out there. Every person on Earth kind of knows about video games by this point. It's not a hidden gem that someone has just unearthed. So, like, the reach is now all the way around. And maybe we can't do this any longer of like, oh, we can continue to grow. It's like, well, the growth has happened, right? Like
Yes,
everybody knows. So it's like there's not much growth to be had anymore.
And because of that, the business is changing.
Yes.
To the Xbox example, right? That's why they're looking at the billions of people, the billions of people out there that know about video games that are quote unquote gamers, and they're like, how do we reach mobile phones?
Yeah.
How do we reach them in a way where we've hit max capacity of the people who are going to buy consoles, but everybody has a phone. How do we get in front of them? How do we all do all this stuff so that we can continue to see that growth continue? There's a lot to break down.
Well, then let's break down the next part.
Yeah.
We've kept that, but the median price point has moved up anyway, right? And so now we start talking about deluxe editions, add-ons, DLC bonuses, right? Like there are
$70 now.
Games now being $70. I go to my favorite, NBA 2K, right? NBA 2K, the Leave No Doubt edition is $150. And that is a lot of virtual things that we're making up to give you so you will give us more money.
Yes.
Right? Like at no cost really to them. It's just fake currency to buy more in-game cosmetics and toys inside the world that aren't even real. That they're just getting away with that, There's a lot of those now moving on. And I think those were the techniques that they had to do of hey, if the $60 price tag isn't going to make us X amount of money that we thought or what we need, how do we make this happen? And we see it with so many of these microtransactions, pre-order bonuses, deluxe editions that are all also virtual as well. Right, we've moved away. Statues are pretty rare nowadays.
Yeah,
no, we're not getting statues that often now. We're not even getting discs and boxes half the time nowadays.
That's where he comes back around to mention, which adds extra in-game content that has almost a zero cost to make. Guess what? That statue costs to make. That statue has a cost to it. If we can sell you a skin, if we can sell you a stripe pattern or a polka dot pattern, compared to what we were doing in the past, oh man, we're selling you a digital item that now you're paying on a subscription basis for.
It's a really interesting conversation because it is coming from a guy at the very top, right?
Yes.
And for me, coming from the ski resort industry, right? When I started in 2008, the price of a daily lift ticket was $89. And back then, that was even wow, that's a lot of money, almost $100. Today, if you were to show up at a Vail Resorts owned ski resort in probably the middle of winter, it's $270 for a daily ticket. So we watched that from 2008 to now, where it went from 89. Oh, wow, it crossed 100. Wow, they're charging $150 for a day ticket. Now it's $200 to ski for one day. And that's just the price of admission to get there on top of travel, rental skis, ski instructions, lunches, right? And so all of these different parts of the world, no matter what industry you're in, you're seeing this price go up, right?
Yes.
And so, here it is with this.
And who benefits off of that is not necessarily primarily the workers.
Yeah.
Don't get to see wages go up because of that. It's usually, managers and C-suites who, love to buy really expensive cars, right? And so I think I could understand the argument of yes, these things need to, be more costly over time to actually sufficiently pay our people and pay them living wages and pay them to be in a certain city to work for us, right? But I feel time and time again we don't hear that or we don't see that, and it's more so putting more money into the pockets of C-suite executives who want to give themselves bonuses after they just laid off half of their workforce, right? And so that's where the frustration really comes.
I think you're putting too much sauce on it, even as far as the implication that they're paying for, hey, we want our workers to be able to thrive and live in these expensive places that we're forced them to be at, so we can have them work in office. Those are words that'll never come out of their mouth because they don't give a shit about that.
I'm saying that's what it should be, and I would be more on board with this idea of game prices getting more expensive if that was the reality, which we don't live in.
But I think
all I'm saying is socialize the work.
I do think there's a third the third factor of just rising development costs.
Yeah,
and I do think that is a realistic thing of okay, well, shit just costs more to make. Not that we're paying our employees more,
Well,
but we're keeping
we
them on
are also
longer.
paying our employees more, right? Of like,
Oh, sure.
That has gone up. I started at $8.75 in 2008. They're now paying those employees $20.
Okay,
which
but
the cost of living and minimum wage has gone up. But like the C-suite is still getting way too much money. We know
compared
that,
to like what you were making 15 years ago,
budgets,
and now the percentage between what they were making 15 years ago and now is very different.
Of course, but these budgets also have to reflect that and change, right? And that's the price of the daily lift ticket or the price of a game has to be adjusted with that budget of, well, now I'm paying Blessing $100,000+ times 100. I got to make sure we're doing that. The C-suite, we're always going to talk about is making way too much. We know that, right?
Yes.
But we also are paying the employees a lot more than before.
I think
everything is going up.
To work the way back to the $80 price point, right? The point I wanted to get to, and I think we've kind of swerved back around to get here, is I think for me, when we see the $80 price point on video games and we recoil, I think the feeling that we have should be directed in the right place, right? Because for me, there's a whole conversation we had that we kind of just had, right, about where that $80 comes from, where these rising prices for video games come from. But I think you also hit the nail on the head as far as what you're talking about for like that ticket price and how that's raised over the years, over the decades, right? And like how much things have ballooned. I think the $80 and our feeling around that is more so about how much money we're being paid. Of course. And how much,
Wasted Bandwidth puts it very well. Like our prices are going up, or like our wages and stuff are going up with inflation, not so much because we're actually getting more of a cut in percentage of, the whole pie.
Yes, and that's the point, that I want to make, right, is that like...
Well, that's why we're having this feeling of like, it is tougher for our generations, kids below us, kids above, everyone in the world. It's tougher to do anything nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard enough to go to McDonald's and buy a $4 hamburger that used to be $1, right? Like, everything is more expensive now. So, like, the $80 price tag, we gawk at, right? But as he says, someone has to be the first one to make the first step.
Yes.
Nintendo, this generation, has the first one to be making that step, right?
Yes.
And there was somebody before that in the Xbox One generation who was like, hey, it's not 60 anymore, it's 70, right? And so, like, we've had those people make those steps. Will it get any further, Bless? We've talked about GTA to death about they could charge anything they wanted and we'd all buy it still, right? But will there be another person to take a further step to 100, 110 as these generations go on? Or does it just stop?
I think that, I don't think it ever just stops, but I think it just takes a longer time. Video games will eventually get to 100. They'll eventually get to 110. They'll eventually get to, like, shit is just going to keep rising in price over time, right? And then we'll see where the future takes us as far as where the economy goes. But I do think that even though I can't predict whether or not video games are going to go to a 90 or 100 in the next 2 years, guess what? Microtransactions and battle passes and all the shit exists. GTA Online is going to exist. And I think a lot of those prices are going to be what informs how they look at their margins and how they go, okay, we can charge $80 for this because we're making so much money off of online because we're charging you an arm and a leg for some of this shit. But we'll see when we get there. I believe in the idea that, like, video games costing more over the generations makes sense. I do think it makes sense. But also, I think it's tough because we also should be making more dollars and cents. I think that's really what it is.
It's on both sides, Bless.
It's like, I think it's a two-pronged thing.
You hear it and you're like, I totally understand that. Prices could have gone up every generation to cost all of that. But at the same time, the people buying those games aren't getting paid anymore. They're struggling to make it. So it's a tough dance here.
Also, fuck your sports cars.
That was a wild one.
That's a wild
line
one.
we're always going to remember.
Sports cars in our parking lot 20 years ago.
Golly.
Shut up.
Mike, we talked a lot of big news today. We had a lot of big conversation. But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
I'd take you to our last news story, the We News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about, Big Dog.
Story number 6 and 7 is We News. Originally, I said we have 7 stories today. Story number 6 is now being demoted into a We News, mainly because it's not the biggest thing, right? It's more so of a comment from a Gamescom executive talking about what the relationship with E3 has been now that E3 is gone, saying that it is now their responsibility to step up. The article is from Chris Scullion at Video Games Chronicle. If you want to go check it out and read it for yourself, I recommend it. It's a good read. It's based off of an interview from The Game Business. If you really want the full thing, actually go to The Game Business so you can read the full article.
Just to butt in here, I want to see them prove me wrong. I'm the biggest shit talker of Gamescom.
Barrett is the only person in this office that always checks me every year.
But opening
says,
night live.
Fucking chill.
Yeah.
That's different from Gamescom.
No.
It is.
No. It's the same thing, Bless.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Because this has nothing to do with opening night live.
I mean,
This is just Gamescom, the trade show.
Yeah.
Because opening night live, I'm with you.
Biomutant, remember that?
Yeah, but that was opening night live.
Yeah,
was a bad
exactly.
game.
But that's opening night live at Gamescom.
But like Gamescom itself is the biggest trade show in video games.
Yeah. I never went on the show floor. It was great.
We're gonna send you next year. I'm gonna send you.
Don't.
Somebody send me. I would like to go to Gamescom.
We gotta let him go.
Just because I want to go to Cologne, Germany.
You two and Roger should go.
I don't want to go on the show floor. The best thing was IGN had the war room.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we ever had to go into to like record interviews.
Gotta go on the
and then
show
we'd go into
floor.
town and get drunk for like 8 hours.
And that's what I want.
See, let me tell you, the trip is worth it for that.
That's what I want. I want to go to Gamescom just so I can go to Cologne.
We'll drink
Germany.
Kolsch's for hours, and you
Oh,
won't
yeah.
feel it until you stand up, and you're like, "Oh, I'm drunk."
Listen, Capcom. Are you at Gamescom?
Capcom.
You
Are you at Gamescom?
You still got
Call
time
him.
to send me, all right? Send me and 50 Cent to Gamescom in Germany. We'll hang out. I'll talk to him about Street
50
Fighter.
would tear the roof off that place if you went with him.
Oh, he definitely
They would go crazy
They would go
for 50.
super crazy for 50
Yep.
Cent. Oh, man. The GOAT. More Wii news for you. From VGC, Patapon's delayed spiritual successor, Rataton, gets a new early access release date. The studio has announced that the early access version will arrive on Steam on Friday, September 19th. More from VGC, a brand new Amiga game is coming out this year, and it's a sequel that some players have been waiting 30 years for. The Settlers 2 Gold Edition will be released on Amiga on October 18th, finally bringing the city builder strategy game to the computer where the series began. From IGN, you can now pre-order a new batch of Super Mario action figures from SH Figuarts
Okay.
at Amazon, and they're out next year. Then lastly, Rue Valley, a narrative RPG heavily inspired by Disco Elysium, has been confirmed for Switch in addition to PS5, Xbox, and PC. And that is it for Wii News. Before we get out of here, let me hop into Super Chats real quick, see what y'all been saying. Chris Burns writes in and says, big fan, normally don't get to watch live. Glad I'm here today. Excited for Fallout Season 2. Love everything you guys do. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Chris Burns. Aaron Lime says, it should be noted that I read this one already. Nandor writes in and says, wouldn't it be good to have crossplay in Metal Gear Solid to set a precedent and have more multiplayer games have it? I mean, I think this precedent was set when Fortnite added it.
I mean, more multiplayer have it than they don't have it.
Yes.
It is the outliers that don't have it that we kind of go, whoa, that's an odd one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if even if it did have it, I don't know if that is like, oh man, Metal Gear Solid Delta has crossplay. Now the precedent is set, you know? Like now everybody's got to do it from here on out. Like I don't think anybody's looking at that game to be that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then Yang Fan writes in and says, what if games were increased by 5 slowly instead of 10? Would that lessen the disapproval / hate from gamers? No.
No, because wages are not going up.
It would have been interesting if we started at N64 and you truly every generation started to go up, if you would feel differently now, right? Because we didn't do that every single time.
I guess if there was a standard
if it was
set-
already just like routine and rolling for you, would we be doing that seven generations?
But where are we
level
basing
different?
that off of? Because N64 games
That's true.
ranged hugely. So if we based it off of Shadows of the Empire, we would be starting at $85 back in the N64 days.
I just mean if every time it came out, if the base price, let's say, was $50 at N64 back in the 90s, next year when they came out with GameCube, they were like, hey, it's $55 or $60.
I mean, yeah,
and
if
we
you
did
did
that
that
7 times, would you still be having that conversation? Or would you
no.
just be like, oh, this is just the normal?
It would be the normal, but I think
But
there would
we'd
also
be going, hey, these are getting really expensive. We can't afford these.
Yeah, I think it would still land in the
That's
same
the
place of like, oh, damn, this shit's still expensive. But I don't think it would be the shock of jumping from 60 last generation to now in 2025, we're talking about $80 video games. So you're right about that, yeah. That is it for Super Chats. Before we hop into You're Wrong, I wanted to shout this out at the beginning of the show, but I forgot. I want to give a shout out to Patch Magazine. Ooh. Yeah, they're a magazine that I learned about from the Wholesome Games Direct. And they hit me up recently to do an interview in their mag. I don't think that issue is out yet. But they sent me a bunch of magazines, and I was reading through them. basically, Patch Magazine, they do magazines specifically about indie games.
Oh.
And I was reading through one, because, they sent me a batch this morning once I got in. And, like, they're fucking great. Like, this one is the latest one. This is issue 45. This is about the Wholesome Games Direct that happened about a month or so ago. And, like, they have hella writers. They have, like, a really cute art style. Here they have a checklist of what happened during the Direct. And, like, you can mark each of these games as I watched the trailer, I wishlisted it, I played the demo, or I played the full game. And, like, I don't know. I just like this fucking cute-ass design. I fuck with
I feel like I would have been really, like, it would have been cool if these were one of the magazines we had accessible to us at, like, the school library. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, we would have been obsessed with this type
It's like
of
the
shit.
Highlights magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
They would have
Video
gone great in
games?
there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and so shout out Patch Magazine. It's not a sponsor or anything. I just got this at my desk today, started reading through them, and I was like, oh, these are really cool.
Let Blessing write an article for you.
Dude, I've been asking people. I'm like, let me write an
one in
article.
there. Yeah,
I like
get in
writing.
there.
I mean, I did do the interview, which involved a lot of writing for me. So
Oh, you got to write a bunch. Nice.
yes, so you'll see that in a future issue. But shout out Patch Magazine. Appreciate that. Let's hop into kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Rewrite in, let us know what we got wrong, as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Kebab says, the Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition came with a 16-inch statue of Yasuke and Naoe. Also, don't forget Spider-Man 2's 19 inches of Venom statue. I don't think that's a you're wrong. I think
No,
that's
they
more
just want to
context.
let you know that they're still doing statues.
Kebabs, you're a you're wrong veteran. You know what you're wrong's for. Tell us when we're factually wrong about
Kebabs
things.
was mad after you attacked them last time.
Well, maybe.
Yeah,
he
remember
deserved
when you shut down You're Wrong? That was crazy.
it. And I'd do it again. I think that's it, because I think these ones are from... Oh, wait, no, I asked people about the Sony thing, right? So Charles Jacobson writes in and says, Epic shared document regarding crossplay fees. I think this is what we referenced earlier in the show. The TLDR, Sony demanded a royalty payment whenever a significant number of PlayStation users contributed to a title's earnings. This is in order to offset the reduction in revenue caused by cross-platform functionality, which is hilarious. That's fucking crazy. And that is it. Because I think this other one is kind of the same thing. Mike, that brings us to the end of this episode of KFGD.
Barrett, great job getting us back on and live. To the audience out there, thanks for your patience today. We're back with a full day of live content. I want you to know, Bless, that I created all of Kind of Funny inside of Madden, and the Wild Aces will return to the gridiron today with Coach Mike at the helm. I put you at strong safety because you're going to bring the boom.
I'm going to bring the boom.
What about me, Mike?
You, defensive end.
Okay.
Hear that about Barrett? Kebabs in chat says, you don't have to read them, Bless. Listen, Kebabs,
You don't have to write them.
you don't have, first of all, you don't have to write them. But then also, this is on you, because I read Kebabs.
You don't have to write them. It's crazy.
I read, you don't have to, I read Kebabs' name, and immediately I'm lulled into a sense of, like, trust. Because I know Kebabs so well.
That is true. Abusing your trust.
Yeah, because I know Kebabs well enough to be like, all right, the Kebabs should know what they're doing. I'm going to read this blind.
Yeah, but how many times have you been burned by that?
But usually it's like, if it's a name I've never seen before, then I will read ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
That's where you see me stumble a little bit, because I'm like, let me make sure they're not saying bad words in here, or just trying to be a troll, because I've learned over the years that people will just troll. But I read Kebabs and I'm like, Kebabs is one of the good ones. But turns out, I've been wrong.
One of the good ones.
I've been wrong. Kebabs. That's a joke. All right, we love you here. But be better. Mike, thank you so much for hosting this episode with me.
Yeah, Bless, I always love teaming up with you. You know that.
Of course, each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy the Gamescast next and everything after. But until next time, game daily.